views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
You are listening to the Psychic Professors Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes. This hit call-in show will answer any questions you have about spiritual communication through on-air readings and spirit artistry. Get ready to receive breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten your life. To say this show is educational is an understatement. Dr. Susan is the medium through which spirit communication occurs and fills the canvas of your life.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Susan Barnes, and you are listening to the Psychic Professor Show on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour, and let us help you experience the voices of spirit. Each week on the Psychic Professor Show, we will have some of the most knowledgeable spiritual voices helping you to answer your personal questions. So, anyway, my guest today is Gretchen Bickert, and she's going to be talking to us about sound healing. So, welcome, Gretchen.
Thank you, Susan. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. And we're going to get started by, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm a sound healer, and I also am a grief counselor. Specifically, I work right now a lot with pet loss and bereavement. I've got a huge interest in the afterlife. And so I do integrative therapy for people who are suffering from anxiety or depression or lack of connection. I do individual sound healing treatments with them, and I also do group sound healing with my gongs and Tibetan and crystal bowls. And I also have a passion for working with animals as well. I work for the Sound Healing Academy in the United Kingdom, so I do some distance work with them. Along with my own business, with what I do with that.
So interesting. So there's an academy in England that does this as well?
Yeah, it's the Sound Healing Academy, and they teach courses. The courses are available online, or you can participate in a live workshop, and then they combine the live workshop along with online learning. So anybody from around the world can learn about sound healing.
So that's terrific. Now, have you done stuff online to teach people?
Yeah, I have. I've actually done through their school, through my job. I support the students that are there and offer some tutoring for students. And I've also done some work with an organization, the Not Animal Guardian Network. That's another rescue that's local that I work with. But there is Animal Spirit Cafe online. I've done a webinar with them talking about using sound healing for pets that I know we're going to talk a little bit about later on today.
In the show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so it was really interesting when you first said you were a grief counselor. I'm thinking of all the people that do the counseling for parents who've lost children, but your counseling is for people who've lost pets.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it carries over, my knowledge carries over into also people who have lost their loved ones in their life. But I really felt, when my dog was sick, he had lymphoma and he died. It was a really traumatic and troubling time for me, more so than I had anticipated. And I wasn't able to find a lot of support at that time. People just didn't understand. And it really, my dog, pushed me kind of into that area so that I could be there to support and serve others who were going through the same thing that I had gone through. And I found that because I could completely and totally empathize with their experience, that I found it to be really beneficial.
Now, are you saying your dog pushed you into this? Was this the dog in the living or the dog in the spirit?
Dog in dog in spirit. Going through that whole process, we were really connected. That dog and I. His name is Ernie, and after he died, there was some really crazy afterlife signs that he shared with me that were unbelievable. And if they hadn't been experienced and witnessed by others, I probably would have kept questioning them. But, through that experience, those life lessons of, the anticipatory grief of him having cancer, as well as me, using sound healing through the time that he was getting ready to die, and then how he just peacefully transitioned, and then afterwards getting those signs, just really motivated me to move forward and do the counseling and to learn more about what was going on with animals in the afterlife.
Oh, that's really important. Yeah, because as a medium, I often get people's pets coming through. And
Oh,
even
yeah.
pets, yeah, pets, especially like childhood pets too. And sometimes the people don't even quite remember, I'll say, I have a white cat here. And they'll go, oh, no, no. Then they'll go, oh, yes, I had that when I was a child or a kid. So, yeah, pets are great comfort to us in this life and the next.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
forget, yeah.
absolutely.
I forget who was telling me, but somebody was telling me that if your pet goes before you do, they actually have people in spirit or spirits in spirit that will help take care of the pet.
Oh, I love that. That that's so amazing, and I would think that would be extremely comforting for people, so they don't have to worry about what's happening with their animals after they cross the rainbow bridge. I had people after Ernie died reaching out to me and saying, my dog, Fluffy just passed on. Can Ernie please meet him and help him across, the bridge and let him know everything's going to be okay.
Well,
So that's great.
that's really funny. My sister had a cat that was killed, and I had this vision of the Summerland, and in the Summerland was her cat, and the cat that came to the cat's side was our childhood cat, the one that we grew up with as children. So it was a really wonderful, wonderful vision, and I shared it with her so she would feel better about losing her pet. The pet was being taken care of.
Oh
So
my God,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so it's great with the pets, and we could probably talk about pets all day, but we need to get back on track with talking about
Right.
sound healing.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh gosh, let's see. Well, I bought a crystal bowl probably, it must have been around 14 years ago or so. And, prior to that, I already had an interest in music. When I was younger, I played the violin, I played the flute, and our whole family was very, very musical. So I've already sort of had a resonance. I was resonated with sound. And when I got my crystal bowl, really loved it. And I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher by training, and gongs are very prevalent within Kundalini yoga, and now they're prevalent everywhere. But at that time, it was really Kundalini yoga and the gong sort of went hand in hand. And so I decided, you know what, I really want to get a gong, and that was about 8 years ago, and got my first gong and started playing. And now, of course, I have 8 gongs. But it just kept building from that. I really connected to sound as a healing modality. And as I would play for people, I started out just playing for, my yoga class, for meditation, for groups. I had people coming to me afterwards with these really phenomenal experiences. And I didn't really know what exactly I was doing to create all these changes and this transformation that was happening. And so that's when I decided to get education on it and learn the science behind what was happening. And through my training and learning and lots of time spent researching and studying, I became a sound therapist. So there's still a ton more to learn. I don't think you ever stop learning. But through my training, I've been able to learn how to use the sounds, how to break the sound apart. It's sort of like taking, deconstructing sound with frequency and using different pure frequencies and blending these sounds and frequencies to create and elicit change, but something that I have control of now and that I can plan out, rather than saying, wow, that was really amazing, I don't know what I did. So that's kind of, right?
No, that's wonderful. Yeah. That's really, really wonderful that you've been able to do that. So you've been studying it, and how long have you been working with clients?
I've been working with clients for the past few years. During that time, it was kind of on and off, sort of, experimental, but working with paid clients has been in the past few years. And it's really a rewarding field to be in, because sound can be so effective, and it's so easy. It's so easy. The client doesn't have to do a lot. They can simply relax and experience it.
Yes, that sounds like a wonderful thing. And we're at our first break now.
Okay.
And so I'll say you're listening to the Psychic Professor Show with Dr. Susan Barnes. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will talk more about sound healing.
Now you can be a part of one of the most powerful programs to help create a more joyful, loving, abundant, and peaceful world. Every day at 12 noon in any time zone, join millions of other people around the world to spend a few minutes in joy, love, and gratitude. Brought to you by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. Together, we can raise the vibration of the planet. For more information, visit globalmomentofjoy.com.
Have you ever said to a friend, I am trying to be less stressed. I am hoping to meet someone special. Or how about, I am working on getting a job I love. Hi, I'm Eve from Elite Tarot, host of the weekly show Mainstream Metaphysics Radio. Words like hoping, wanting, and trying may seem innocent. However, they carry with them emotional weight that actually blocks energy. Next time you start to say these words, say instead, I am becoming less stressed. I am looking forward to meeting someone special. I am pursuing a job I love. While your brain may resist, note how your body physically feels as possibility of success suddenly appears. As an intuitive coach and professional tarot card reader, I work with clients worldwide on using energy effectively to embrace joy. If you'd like to schedule a session, please visit my website at elitetarot.com. That's ELITETAROT.com.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Discover the healing medicine from the giant monkey tree frog Cambo. Cambo practitioner Ginny Rutherford and professional psychic Todd Rolson have come together for lively discussions of alternative healing medicines from the Amazon. Ginny and Todd bring you Cambo Talk Radio. Tune in each Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear from guests all over the world with real life stories and the medicinal benefits of Cambo. For more information, visit cambokiss.com.
Tune into the wisdom of your soul for guidance on living a joyful life. On Soul Wisdom Radio, Wendy will provide inspiration to raise your vibration and connect with your higher self and guides. Learn how to balance your ego and to progress spiritually on Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com or Transformation Talk Radio to learn more about a healing session with Wendy and her events and publications.
We're back on the Psychic Professor Show with Dr. Susan Barnes. But I want you to know this show is sponsored by the Spirit Art Gallery, and you can go to www.spiritartgallery.net. And when you go there, you can see a selection of things that we have in the gallery, along with events, and you can get the archives of this radio show. So check out the site. And we're back with Gretchen Bickert, and we are talking about sound healing. And Gretchen, now, what is the primary purpose of sound healing?
Well, I would say the primary purpose of sound healing is bring us back to balance. So, every part, everything in the world is vibration. It's all vibration. And they've shown that like every organ in our body, every cell, it all has its own frequency. So we sort of operate as our own symphony. And when part of us is out of tune, it can create disease. It can create anxiety, depression, different physical ailments, different emotional issues. So we use sound to sort of tune us up, right? Bring us back into balance so everything is playing in harmony, coming back to that state of peace and bliss and connecting with love. So instead of having the static, the something going on in our body could sound like, sort of a dissonant sound, we bring that back into so we can have a beautiful constant hum back to this sort of level place.
That's very interesting. Yeah, because that's what I felt when I had someone do the Tibetan sound bowls on me. I felt my body was very much going back into alignment and balance. However, what about trying to raise your consciousness? Can you do that with the bowls too?
Oh, absolutely. And I would think that that's really the whole point, is to get to a point where we can raise our consciousness and, find those emotions of gratitude and compassion and love and joy, which are part of a higher consciousness, right? So when we're not feeling well, or when we have trauma, or, perhaps we're in grief, these are all things that need to be processed. And I think of emotions as energy in motion. So we need to move that. And so, for instance, with grief, we get stuck. A lot of times we feel it in the center of our chest, and we release that through our tears, through maybe talking, through, different processes. We move that energy and allow ourselves to come back into balance. In fact, just quickly, sound can be used very, very effectively to clear a stuck emotion on yourself, simply by sitting and getting in tune and in touch with whatever that emotion is, or maybe there was an experience that led to that emotion, really being in it, feeling where it is in your body, and then bringing a sound to it. What does the sound of that emotion sound like? So if you're really angry, maybe the sound sounds like grrr, a very low sort of tone, and we bring that into wherever we feel the anger in our body, and just really allow ourselves to feel until we can bring it up to a more resonant, balanced tone. So as we clear and we heal and come back to our center, we can allow ourselves the opportunity to begin to feel the gratitude and the compassion and the love, and then we raise our consciousness sort of as a side effect, right?
Yes. Okay. Now, I would assume this also works with meditation.
Absolutely. And sound, I have found sound to be a really great enabler of achieving deep meditative states. With sound, you can alter the brain waves. You can use binaural beats using headphones and creating that third sound within the brain. There's a whole science behind binaural beats. And you can even do it live by using two instruments that are slightly out of tune, out of phase of each other, and they'll create what's called a beat. And so that also creates a nice meditative sound in the room. So depending on how we play, I know with my gongs, the way that I play my gong will allow people to relax, to activate their parasympathetic nervous system, to begin to shift the brain into our waking brain states, into the deeper, the theta and the delta, where they can fall into a deeper state of meditation. And you can use Tibetan bowls for this. You can use crystal bowls. You can use any instruments to assist you with meditating, because we're shifting the brain waves. And that's really all about meditation.
Now, so you use these sounds yourself, but I mean, I'm assuming during meditation you'd want to get a recorded thing or something so that you wouldn't have to be hitting the bowls while you're trying to meditate.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are tons of different CDs and meditations out there that are great. I mean, there's gazillions of them. Go on to the Oracle Google and just type it in, and you'll find quite a few to help you with that. But you can have a single Tibetan bowl and sit it in front of you and close your eyes and take your mallet and just softly tone it and allow yourself to connect with the vibrations that are coming from your single bowl. And you will find yourself falling into a deeper state of relaxation. Then you could simply set the bowl to the side and continue just being in this state of vibration, this meditative state that you yourself have created by connecting to the sound and vibration from your own little Tibetan bowl.
Yeah, I think you're saying that because I have my own little Tibetan bowl.
Oh, that's right, you do. So maybe that's what I am
that's
sliding in there.
Sliding in there. Yes. But anyway, and I also have to say that for me, the meditation tapes that I've been using are the HoloSync tapes, and they have made a real difference in my life. So I know that sound can be incredibly healing. And so this is really wonderful that you're doing it. And
yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any other insights you can give us about the sound healing?
Well, it's interesting that, a lot of people will wonder, well, where is the science? And there's actually a lot of science that shows that sound healing is effective. And sound healing goes way back for, thousands of years, to the earth, to the Egyptians. It's shown in the, temples, and that these were all constructed with acoustics and sound in mind, so that when they chanted different vowel sounds within these chambers, that essentially they were doing like this ritualistic rebirthing sort of chanting. And if you think about churches, they're very resonant, so that when the chanting comes, the Gregorian chant or the gospel or the music plays, it's very resonant in that, so that it raises you up. I mean, there's no accident in how these things were designed many, 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 many years ago. And today, just recently, there's been a lot of science coming out using science to detect cancer, to be able to test blood. The cymoscope has shown, which is like super exciting, the cymoscope, which is based upon cymatics, which is a whole nother conversation. We're able to now see sound. We see the geometric patterns that are created through this frequency and vibration of sound. And they're doing a lot of work with dolphins and dolphin vocalizations, and they've showed what the dolphin is seeing through its echolocation when a man was down in the water. I mean, it's fascinating stuff. And the implications of this are far and wide in what we're going to be able to discover through being able to see sound and see these geometric patterns in different things. So, I just super excited about sound and everything that we're learning. And I really feel like it's going to eventually give us answers to the origins of life and tie things back to how everything started, which I believe started with sound. When you think about certain religious texts, many of them say that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. And, and that's not just with the Christian Bible, but in other, Hindu texts, I'll refer to the beginning as being something related to sound. So, yeah, it sounds all around us.
Yes, and that's a very interesting point, because you're saying that the sounds therapy and things that we're doing are kind of taking us back into a primordial type of being or existence. So this is very, very interesting, and I do think the possibilities with sound usage are endless, and I look forward to hearing more of your ideas. But now we're going to have to take a break, and I'm Dr. Susan Barnes, and you're listening to the Psychic Professor Show. And when we come back, we'll have more from Gretchen Bickert. So, okay, we're on break.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Welcome to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat Basile, the host of the Dr. Pat Show, and I am so thrilled that we've created this venue for all of you out there.
Dr. Pat Basile will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
What we have heard is that you want to ensure for us that we keep positive, holistic, uplifting, transformative talk radio on the air. We're excited to bring you the contemporary conversations about Lyme disease.
We promise not to let the light fade on Lyme.
So fasten your seat belts. We've got lots more to share with you in the weeks to come.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio with Dr. Pat and help keep our mission strong on transformationtalkradio.com.
Tune in to the Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Hi there, this is Audrey Michelle, host of Rewired Life Radio. If you've listened to the show, you know I talk a lot about listening to your body. Here's the deal. Listening to your body takes quieting your mind, and I want to teach you how. Actually, we're going to start right now. Take a deep breath, a truly deep breath, all the way to the top of your inhale, and then exhaling to the very bottom of your belly. Breathing, feeding your body the oxygen and fuel it needs. This is the first step in listening to your body. There's more, but it's so easy. I want to share a quick meditation with you to help you instantly reconnect with yourself and listen to your body. Simply go to audreymichelle.com/tips and download it for free today. That's Audrey Michelle, spelled MICHEL.com/tips.
Tune in each month to Synergenetic Living Radio, where Rick and Grace Paris discuss the synergenetic way of life, what it means to truly change your perspective in life, what it means to take control of your life and manifest your true desires. For more information on Rick and Grace Paris and Synergenetic Living, check out synergeneticliving.com. Get clear on the life you desire and the current life you are creating and what is between the two. Synergenetic living, living life loud.
And we're back on the Psychic Professor Show, and we are discussing sound healing. And now I'm going to ask Gretchen about sound and animals. Do you use the sound with them?
Yes. Yeah, I do. And animals are very receptive to sound. The one thing about sound in animals, though, is we always have to remember that their hearing range is much, much greater than ours. And so they're very sensitive to sound, and, you know, less is more, essentially, when you're using sound with animals. And, you know, something really interesting about animals to bring up in that, most animals already have sort of innate healing abilities. And they've shown, like with the cat and the cat's purr, when we're talking about sound specifically, that science has shown, and a lot of people I think know this, that the purr is physically beneficial. It's very healing, and it's not just the sound of the purring, but the vibration of the purring. And so the frequency of a cat's purr is around, a house cat would be between about 25 and 50 hertz. And this frequency has been shown that will increase bone density and relieve pain and heal like tendons and muscles in people. So it's interesting that it matches the frequency of a cat's purr.
Mommy?
And like
Okay, no, sorry.
Okay. Hi, Mommy.
Frequency of the cat's purr as the dog is. I'm sorry, the dog is doing something. Okay, go ahead. I'm correct. No, that's amazing. And I'm thinking that there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are older that don't have many family members left, but they have their pets, and their cats are just so important to them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, a cat and all animals, they're very intuitive, and they know when you're not feeling well, or, you know, you're sad, or, you know, some dogs can, you know, are trained to sniff cancer, or, you know, diabetes, epileptic seizures, all of that kind of stuff. They're very, very sensitive and intuitive. And you know, like I said with the cat's purr, I mean, it comes with its own little sound healing package right along with it, which is interesting. And so I've used sound healing on animals, and they are responsive. And tuning forks, there's a whole science out there, acutonics for animals, which uses tuning forks on meridian points. So it affects the meridians within the body. It's based on Chinese medicine. And you can also use tuning forks just to sound around them. You could use two different ohm tuning forks together that would create the perfect fifth, which is it's a very perfect and calming sound. And you can use that vibration, which has also been shown to stimulate the cells to produce nitric oxide, which is very healing. And when we get stressed or animals get stressed, the body produces less of it. So being able to kind of amp up that nitrous oxide within the cells can promote healing. You can also use your voice on animals to heal them. I had a older dog, Charlotte, and she was very small. She's 5 pounds, and she was losing her hearing. And sound will travel not only through your ears, but through the skin, through all of the nerve cells. You don't have to be listening to sound to have the healing effects from it. So what I would do with her is I would hold her, and I would ohm tone. I would tone the sound of ohm softly up and down her spine, just to calm her down and just to heal her. And she seemed to really like when I did that, you know, which was indicated by her response of just relaxing, gently closing her eyes, you know, maybe stretching a little. So we can look at our animals when we're using sound on them to gauge their responses. And if an animal's like, yeah, no, I'm not down with that right now, they'll simply get up and remove themselves, which is perfectly okay and fine. We never force an animal into a situation of healing. What we do is we're in a space of allowing, because animals really don't go around thinking that they're broken and we need to be fixed. So you're just opening up and allowing for their greater good, for healing to occur, and letting them make the choice to experience this healing vibration within them. So I love it. When my dog Ernie, who I talked about earlier, was he was in hospice, and I knew that he was getting ready to leave this world, and he was perfectly fine. And I had vets on call in case something, if he got scared or his breathing became labored, so that we could do a home euthanasia. But he ended up staying very just calm and peaceful through that week. And I played at night Gregorian chants and Tibetan bowls for him on, through the speakers. And then I would also play my bowls for him, live, right? Just kind of surrounded him with this healing vibration. And I have to say that it not only helped him, but it really helped me. And what I find when, I talk to people and work with people whose animals are, have an illness or they're senior and, we're getting towards the end of their cycle of life, that they're stressed. And of course, they're stressed because they're, the pain, the sadness of losing their animal is there. But if they can incorporate some form of sound, healing, music, calming into the therapy with the dog, it helps them. And when they are calm, it allows also the dog to be calm, so that they're not sensing all of the angst that is within you. You can essentially connect and become one heart, and it really allows for a beautiful opportunity as well to connect with your animal and to be very close to them in a very loving and compassionate way, especially if they're going to soon be leaving this earth. That's a really special time to make that heart connection.
Well, I think that it's wonderful that you're doing all of these positive types of things with the sound and the animals, because I know they are sensitive to sound. When I had a little construction going on yesterday, and Mavi went and hid under my bed because he didn't like the sound, so
right.
He wouldn't come out. Yeah, we didn't know where he was, and he was under the bed, trying to get away from the sound. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, but anyway, he eventually came out.
Yeah, well, they are very, it's interesting that you bring that up, because it's something to be mindful of, is that they are sensitive to sound. Dogs are very sensitive, cats even more so to sound. So the environment that they're in, keeping things nice and calm and peaceful, being mindful of, sounds that aren't too crazy. They've shown with dairy cows, actually, they've done studies with dairy cows and production of milk. And dairy cows will produce more milk when, certain types of music are played for them. So I think their favorites were so dairy cows, I think it was like REM they liked. They liked Beethoven. And let's see, they didn't like really hard, fast rock music. So the tempo, not all over the place type of music allowed them to be more relaxed, and actually they produced more milk. So we know that sound and the sound in the environment, we know when we listen to a jackhammer, it's like insanity. For listening to nice, smooth classical music, we feel calmer. Jazz is edgy. It kind of makes it sort of like an edgy feeling. So sound and our environment, the music that we play, it all affects us more than we may think.
Well, no, I know that because that's why stores play music, because they think people will stay in the store longer if they're hearing some pleasant music.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why I guess, and they play music in elevators because I guess some people are nervous with elevators, so the elevator music helps to calm them down.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So we see that there are applications that people have been using in commercial ways for a long time. However, focusing on the healing, I think, is something new. And I think it's really important what you're doing and saying about how the healing vibrations heal both the animal and the owner of the animal. And so that's really good news to hear. And I'll have to think about playing my bowl for my dog, see what happens with him.
I think Mavi would really like it.
Yes, he's a good doggy. He's a good doggy.
And you know what? Speaking of noise, I was just thinking that the word noise actually comes from a Latin word for nausea. So, when I had heard that, I'm like, that makes sense. Yeah. So, noise, static, and not all noise is bad. I don't want to say that. But, loud, discordant noises can kind of make us feel like, not so great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why people go crazy when there's construction going on in their homes and all that banging and noise is going on. So they can't stand it. But anyway, we're about to go on to another break.
Okay.
And just let everybody know this is brought to you by the Spirit Art Gallery at www.spiritartgallery.net. And this show and the ones in the past can be accessed from that site. So we'll be back in a minute.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
Amber Teal, founder of The Healthy Edge, is bringing you the hit show Healthy Edge Radio, living with power, passion, and purpose. Amber provides the support and tools necessary for you to finally release the weight and emotions that are hidden beneath the weight. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information on how you can take the next step with Amber, visit getthehealthyedge.com.
Tune into the wisdom of your soul for guidance on living a joyful life. On Soul Wisdom Radio, Wendy will provide inspiration to raise your vibration and connect with your higher self and guides. Learn how to balance your ego and to progress spiritually on Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com or Transformation Talk Radio to learn more about a healing session with Wendy and her events and publications.
TheAngelLady.net. 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 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790. Sue Storm. TheAngelLady.net.
Live your magnificence. For the Love of Joy is a precious gift offered to us by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. He takes us on an incredible 30-day adventure to expand our minds and hearts with the nectar of life, love, and joy. This book will help you bring more joy, love, health, abundance, adventure, romance, and magnificence into your life.
We're back on the Psychic Professor Show with Dr. Susan Barnes, and we are here with Gretchen Bickert, and we're going to talk more about sound healing. Now, Gretchen, can you do this through the internet? I mean, can we do it over distances? Can you sound heal?
I would think that you absolutely can. People will do live streams of different sound events, and there are CDs and MP3s that you can play. So, I would love to do some experiments with that. And, if anybody out there would like to volunteer, please contact me. So to do some scientific type of experiments where, we gauge effect of doing a live sound through Zoom or Skype or, over the phone, because we don't have the advantage of like a digitally mastered CD that's played through great headphones. So what's happening is we're playing this live through the internet. Are we losing any of the variation of frequency or harmonics when we play the gong or the bowls or, whatnot? It'd be really interesting to do a scientific study on that. I know that people do live events over the internet, but are they as effective? I don't know that yet.
Well, the other thing we need to do is, how can people get in touch with you?
Oh, well, my website right now is under construction, but let's hope that changes within the next couple of weeks, because I've got some very interesting information that I would like to put on there and share with others. I'll also be creating a couple of MP3 downloads for people and their animals. They can reach me by email. It is U-R, S as in Sam, U, S as in Sam, 88 at gmail.com. So
do you want to repeat that again?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. U-R, S as in Sam, U, S as in Sam, 88 at gmail.com.
Okay, great. So if anybody wants to,
like the bear.
Yeah, Ursus. Okay. So if anyone wants to do an experiment with Gretchen, they can get in touch with her. And I'm sure we will be able to find some people that would definitely be willing to get some sound healing through the internet. But that would be very interesting. And probably for part of that, you'd want to see whether some of the vibrations are lost or they're not. But anyway,
yeah,
so
exactly.
What's some of the future things that's happening with sound healing? What are some of the new things you're discovering?
Well, I talked a little bit about the cymotherapy and the cymoscope, which is, for me, super exciting. And I'm waiting to, learn more about that. There's also something called sonocytology, which is a study of sounds that various cells will generate. And so that's pretty exciting too, because, if we can find and really pinpoint the exact sound of different cells or organs or whatever, then, we can easily find resonant frequencies to work on bringing it back into balance for healing. Vibroacoustics is a growing field. It's been around for a while with sound massage, sound tables, and I actually made my own vibroacoustic sound speakers, and people really loved using them in my therapy. So we could play different music, different frequencies through these speakers, and they basically would send the vibrations through any part of the body wherever these speakers were placed. They're like super cool. It was like super fun to play around with. Distance healing, that's something that I think people are going to be working on more. There's also this woman, Sherry Edwards, who's been working for some time, and she uses her voice to assess people's different imbalances and ailments. And she has done some amazing and groundbreaking work with her organization. I'm trying to see if I can find what it's called. Anyway, her name is Sherry Edwards, and the work that she has done is amazing, and it's creating a correlation between sound, music, frequency, and math, and how all of this is healing, and trying to establish like mathematical equations that can be used for healing. So is math medicine? I don't know. That's what she's working on figuring out. And her work, it's the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology. So she's really doing some groundbreaking work with sound and frequencies and math and voice profiling and all that kind of stuff. Underwater, using sound underwater and transmitting those sounds and using that as a medium for sound and healing. That's something that I really would love to experience. And living in Arizona, we have more access to pools, more times of the year outside, and sounds of nature. What are the sounds in nature, and what are these frequencies? And we already know that there are frequencies from certain animals and birds that you either slow them down, you speed them up, they create these noticeable patterns. And so how do we incorporate more of the sounds of nature into healing? Because really, nature's symphony, tuning into the sound of the universe, the world, that was given to us by God. And that already has many healing components. But most of us have to remove ourselves from the city a bit just to be able to tune back in. I think that, looking at music from a different standpoint, that it's not necessarily just a composition or a song, but music is really all around us. And how do we experiment more with combining different sounds in different ways to create healing or a shift in your brain waves, transformation, not just your song you heard on the radio, Mary Had a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but different sounds placed together in sort of an experimental fashion. And how does that affect transformation? There's all sorts of things I think that it's endless with sound. I mean, the possibilities, and I just really think that we're going to be seeing more and more and more about sound and healing and discoveries that bring us back to knowing who we are, where we came from, connection to self and unity, so that we can all join together in one huge, beautifully playing symphony instead of kind of like the battle of the bands we have going on out there in our world, right?
Yes, it does seem like the battle of the bands these days. And that's a wonderful thought of trying to bring people into unity. But then also you're making me aware that we need to be kind of cognizant of what kinds of music and sounds we play in our own environments, in our own homes, because this could have a real effect on all of us. So we've just about run out of time. Is there any last word you want to say?
No, just that I think, I want to thank you so much for having me on your show today and being able to share, a bit about my world and the world of sound. Nikola Tesla, what did he say? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think of in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, and sound is vibration. And so I just think we're going to find some answers when we tune in.
Yes, tune in. And we have to remember that we are all vibration, and sound healing is an excellent way to begin to explore a new type of healing. And I know that sound has helped to heal me. So I look forward to all of these new types of things and experiments that are going on. So thank you very, very much, Gretchen, for being my guest today. You've been listening to the Psychic Professor Show with Dr. Susan Barnes, and we'll say goodbye for another week.
Thanks, Susan.
You've been listening to the Psychic Professor Show with Dr. Susan Barnes, the Voices of Spirit Radio. Dr. Barnes' deep knowledge of spiritual issues provides an hour of lively talk and discussion about everything from historical facts to transcommunication. To download this show or any past shows, or to learn more about Dr. Susan and her spirit-inspired art, visit spiritartgallery.net.